Non-physical sex. This one should be fun. I like pulling these out of the hat. It's so simple. Alright. So, I mentioned in one of the videos the phenomena called astral sex. What this is non-physical sex, and let me just say before I get on to the sex part, that the only difference between physical sex and non-physical sex is that, or let me say this, the only difference between physical and non-physical is that in the non-physical, you just have an awareness of it being non-physical. It's still just as tangible, touchable, and seemingly solid as anything else. But there is an underlying experienceable knowing, this bubble of knowing that it's non-physical, that everything is happening in. So, again, that's the only difference. So there's a couple phenomena regarding this. I'm going to start with nakedness first. This I have no clue, but this happens to a lot of people. It happens to me, and in a lot of my projections, I show up naked as a jaybird. I know people that, I won't mention any names, but you'll recognize yourself. I know this one gal. She does her projections from a recliner, and she takes her recliner with her into her projections. And then I know another woman. She'll probably come out and say howdy to you, but I won't say her name anyway. She takes her whole house. I don't even bring my clothes. I show up naked. I have no idea why. Hey, if you have any ideas about that, post them below. It's a phenomenon that does have me curious. But yeah, every other one of my projections say I will look down and realize I'm naked. One time I was in a limousine with Jodie Foster, and this is funny because when I was younger, people used to tell me I looked like her, and I did because I wore my hair like her. But that's where the similarity ended in my view. But anyway, after this interaction and these other people in the limousine got out, I looked down at myself and saw that I was naked and just slowly started rolling up the windows so that there was only this small peeking room for me to see out, but nobody else to see in. Astral sex. This is actually really cool. It's something that was happening a lot, seemingly all the time, for a 3-month period of time, a few months back. Now, it's not real fresh in my mind now because it has not happened for some time, but essentially, I was going into a trance state so seamlessly that really it just felt like I was still there in my primary physical reality. And men were manifesting into my arms. And this does feel like you're there, you're lying in your bed, and all of a sudden you realize there's a man in your arms. And, you know, I know now that my consciousness was had shifted into a non-physical environment, and I was experiencing what was happening in that non-physical environment. I don't know how or why it happens in particular. There's nothing that seems to be going on in my physical reality that is stimulating it. I've been a practicing Brahmacharen for almost a decade, and although that's over, I'm not involved in any relationship at this time that would trigger that sort of an event, sometimes I think I am able to feel when someone else is sending me this type of energy, and this may be triggering those events. I don't know. It's my best guess at this time. There's a handful of these that have occurred. The first time it happened, like I said, I was seemingly manifesting the experience right there in what seemed to be my physical reality. The next few times it happened, I was clearly in a non-physical environment, engaged with people in those realities, and the experience began escalating. It began with just embrace, and then I could feel tangible touch and movement. By the time I was in the non-physical environment, it was full sex. The times preceding that, I moved into, I was in a non-physical environment, but my awareness split. I had dual awareness. Awareness of myself, my physical body lying there in the bed, and myself there in the non-physical reality. And I could see how the events were matching up. For instance, I hope this is not too... I'm trying to figure out a way to say it, and I don't know if there is any smooth way to say this, but in the non-physical environment, I was sitting on a sofa with a man. I had my foot up in his crotch. There is no smooth way to say it, sorry. And at the same time, feeling my physical body, I could feel the Kundalini creating an identical sensation in the sole of my foot. Now, whether it's this is very likely both, but the reason I'm going to say it from this perspective is because my primary focus is the physical reality. I'm going to say it was the Kundalini working in my foot that came up with that equivalent scenario in the non-physical environment. So this, of course, will also have to do with the types of events that are created for us in the non-physical environments that we become lucid in. If you have ideas about this, again, would love to hear them. Post them right down below.